Hey, everybody, and welcome to Life by the Horns, where we boldly tackle life's terrain. So, this podcast is perfect if you're a small business owner, an entrepreneur, you're in sales and marketing, and you deal with day to day challenges of business, health and fitness, parenting, relationships, money, spirituality, and much, much more. So, before we get into what we want to discuss, I just want to give you a brief introduction as to who I am and why you should be following us. Again, my name is Blake Silver, and I've been in sales and marketing for about 8 years now. A little bit about me: I live in Southern California, and I've got an amazing girl, a golden retriever, and a house down in Ladera Ranch. And I'm looking to start a family soon. And I've got a deep, deep background in sales and marketing, and specifically direct response copywriting. Now, I didn't just fall into that. I had a, I had it, well, had it fall in my lap as I was traveling around the world and landed in Melbourne, Australia. Worked for one of the top direct response marketing agencies on the planet. Got into sales and quickly boosted my way up to a senior position. And then after that, I started to help and coach and train and manage sales teams from marketing agencies all around the world. And yeah, I'm really excited to share as much as I can with you guys, help you in any knowledge, and share some wisdom in regards to sales and marketing and other aspects of life. And that being said, I want to hand it over and give the introduction to my business partner, my friend, but also my mentor, Dustin Lundy. So, Dustin, take it away.
Yeah, thanks for that, Blake. So, I'm Dustin Lundy. A little bit about me. Was a serial entrepreneur, now serial entrepreneur. I worked in the home services space for a little over a decade, both inside in sales and then outside inside of operations and management, where I helped scale some companies along the East Coast. From there, I moved, my lovely wife now, Amanda, and we've got an awesome set of three kids. We lived down in Florida for a short period of time, a couple of years, and then moved back up here to Atlanta for a different opportunity. In a completely different sector than I've ever been in. I jumped straight out of corporate America into all things small business and was a general manager for a couple of years, and that's where I learned how to wear all the hats in business and not just all things management or sales. And from that, a lot of lessons learned, a lot of wisdom in the process. And then fast forward, myself and Michael, who is a great friend of mine, mentor. To me, we put together an awesome organization called Best Life Group. We're a small business growth agency, and we're now into our fourth year where we do all things digital marketing to increase visibility and sales for businesses, as well as consultative services. So, as businesses scale, we help them get through that process of building better culture processes and so on. And then we also offer bookkeeping and financial consulting services there as well. So, kind of like a fractional CFO. Other than that, other than like the professional side of myself, I'm all things a family guy. I love all things business. I love fitness and wellness, but I also have like a strong love for food. So yeah, I'm definitely a hardcore foodie. So as I travel, the United States and the world and go see clients, I think one of my most favorite things to do, in those meetings is check out the cool local cuisine. But enough about me. I'll pass it back over to you, Blake, and we'll start jumping right in.
Yeah, well, look, guys, excited that you've decided to join this podcast and connect with myself and Dustin. This isn't going to be your typical podcast where we just, shove a bunch of business stuff down your throat. We want to get to know you guys, share some of our experiences, positive and as well as negative, right? Go through the day to day, struggles that we faced, right? Growing a business and starting an agency and getting it off the ground. So, we're excited to share those things with you. Maybe share some insights and wisdom on the health and fitness side, as well as how to stay mentally in the game on the day to day, which is probably the most challenging bit. So again, if you're a business owner, if you're in sales, you're an entrepreneur looking to start a business, this podcast is perfect for you, and we're really excited that you've decided to join us. And yeah, we'll see you guys in episode number 2, where we are going to uncover quite a bit.
For sure. But before we get there, I think I'd love to kind of have the opportunity of just share with everybody, like, what's with the name? What's up with Life by the Horns?
Man, I mean, who doesn't want to take a bull by the horns, right? I'm sure everyone's heard that expression before. And it's, hey, if you've fallen up and you want to get back up on the horse, right? Grab the bull by the horns and just make it happen. So I think that this podcast is great for people that have taken a lot of falls and taken a lot of hits, gone through, maybe some mental struggles, have gone through a lot in their life, right? Because we're human beings, and the day to day life is challenging and it's rough. But one of the things that's always kept me going is just grab the bull by the horns, and if it's meant to be, it's up to me, right? Sort of mentality. So taking control of your life, taking control of all aspects to become a better human being, better friend, partner, whatever it might be. And yeah, just challenge and take the day-to-day struggles head on.
Yeah, for sure. No, I love that. I think as we were trying to go through finding a name over the last like couple of weeks, we've thrown a lot of funny things back and forth, and some that were, relatively serious. And then, the other day, Blake kind of said, "Yo, what do you think about this?" And definitely like has a ring to it. I think it's super memorable. But then beyond that, like I love symbolism and really looking into things. And I mean, the name just made a lot of sense. But in some of the research that I did prior to this, Life by the Horns, it says it's a powerful and evocative choice that conveys a sense of seizing control. So really piggybacking on what Blake said, but it's all about facing challenges head on, embracing life with courage and determination, and then to unpack that significance a little bit more. I just wanted to kind of look at some of the words, although there's very few inside of here. So horns symbolizes challenges, obstacles, and difficulties that life presents, and then also inside of the animal kingdom, it represents strength. So, like, I don't know anyone that's ever looked at a bull and it was like, look at that weak little guy. Like, no, they're big time. And then the phrase "by the horns" really means taking decisive action when facing difficulties. So, I mean, yeah, clearly you can run from the bull, but ideally, as life's hitting you head on, you need to seize the opportunity and do something with it. And then it also reflects a confident and assertive attitude, setting the tone really for our podcast and the content that we're going to have. I mean, like Blake said, we're going to talk about a lot of the challenges as of business owners, that obviously, trickle down to the fitness family and all those kinds of things as well. But, we want to make sure that this content and the message that we, exude to you guys is that of assertiveness and confidence as well. And then the choice for life with a Y, as I mentioned, Best Life Group is the agency. It's small business growth solution that we have. And the why in there really just indicates some individuality and some modernness to it. I mean, clearly anyone can spell it with an I, but this is something that stands out a little bit more. And then, from the broad scope of topics that we're going to talk about, it really encapsulates everything under life's umbrella, suggesting that all aspects of life, business, fitness, family, all these things are all interconnected and integral in the human experience. And beyond that, the name really encourages a mind shift or a mindset shift from being passive to being active in the pursuit of fulfilling your most purposeful life.
Love it, man. Again, yeah, like I think that this podcast is here to help a lot of people who have gone through, very similar paths, and not sure of like what their next move should be, not sure what that next step in their career progression should be, or has a tough time at home, whatever it might be. I think that this podcast is really designed to help everyone that fits that mold, to become a better version of themselves, and yeah, take life by the horns. So I want to do something fun real quick, just so people can kind of get to know us, and that is like a
Okay.
rapid fire question round. So I want to ask you a quick question, or three quick questions, Dustin. And the first one is, what is your favorite book related to personal development or business, and why?
I mean, I guess it could be related to both, but it's more so business than anything. It's Your Next Five Moves by Patrick Bet David. Was introduced to me through a different podcast from Ryan Stewman, and picked it up. Absolutely loved it. Makes a ton of sense. I think he's a great writer as well. Obviously, an incredible businessman. So it's definitely created some cool impacts in my life.
Awesome. What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
I feel like we always get these when we really screw up. So, the best one that I've ever received that I've used, I mean, for over a decade at this point, is there is a big difference between being right and winning. And I mean, early on in my career, I was so focused on being right all of the time, and I didn't realize how that was fracturing relationships and partnerships that I had with others, versus looking at whatever the issue was and trying to figure out how I can win over the partnership and make everything's better. And then ultimately, at the end of the day, that can make both of us right. So yeah, great piece of advice.
It's interesting because a lot of people think that being right is winning.
No, no. Yeah, try that in your partnerships and let me know how that goes.
Yeah. But it's because, you know, in a relationship, right? I think that a lot of arguments, kind of continue into and fester into something bigger because, the argument is who can be right,
100%.
right? Which I think definitely kills a lot of relationships or demeans it in a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. So, next question that I have is, what is a daily habit that contributes to your success?
Man, self care. I mean, just prioritizing myself over all else. I part of my background, which I didn't share at all in here. I went to school for exercise science, and I used to have just a huge affinity and love for all things bodybuilding. I mean, you name it. I loved that industry, and I can tell you what that when I am taking care of myself, when I am reading, going to the gym, exercising, religiously, drinking plenty of water, abstaining from alcohol, eating good quality foods, like my level of execution and focus is unlike anybody else that I know. On the flip side, if I don't do those things, yeah, it's not so great. So that's definitely what helps contribute to my success.
Yeah, it's important, right? Taking care of your body, taking care of yourself. In fact, Dustin and I on the 1st of January, our New Year's resolution, we started 75 hard. So this is by no means an endorsement of 75 hard, but just to kind of share with you guys what we've committed ourselves to for the next 75 days and probably beyond. And that is, 2 workouts a day where one has to be outside, drinking a gallon of water, reading 10 pages of a book. That's a self-help book. What else, Dustin? What else is part of that?
I don't know if you had said it, but abstaining from alcohol, taking a progress picture of yourself every single day. Absolutely no cheat meals. So, I mean, heck, if you're making your kids mac and cheese and you pop a noodle in your mouth just to see if it's al dente or not, and you can't have pasta, yeah, you failed.
Didn't you have popcorn the other day?
I'm allowed to have popcorn. That's not against my diet.
No, it's yeah, I think the hardest thing for me being on this 75 hard, actually it's not the workouts. I think the hardest thing has been the water consumption, drinking a gallon of water. I feel like I'm in the bathroom every 5 minutes, which probably slows down my progress throughout the day, but that's been the toughest thing for me. How about you?
um, Honestly, the toughest thing for me is not any of the things that you have to do. It's just getting through the first week. If I can get through the first week and weekend, because like historically, alcohol has been such a big part of my life. If I can get through that, like I'm game over. So, but no, I mean, I mean, the water's great for me. I love the exercise. I guess the only thing that can sometimes be a chore is if we're traveling, all that water while you're on a long plane ride, and then trying to get that second workout in can be tough, but it's definitely doable.
100%, bro.
Yeah.
So I've got a bonus question for you
What
because
you
I
got?
think that this will help a lot of entrepreneurs or people starting out in building their own business, right? And what is something you wish you had known sooner or when you started your journey?
Um, Delay gratification. I think so many, especially these days, like the idea is to look cool on social media, have the cars, all the cool things, the house, the trips. I think all that stuff, is cool and is warranted when the time is right. But I think if you can, as an entrepreneur or a business owner, delay the gratification for yourself and consistently reinvest inside of the business and your team, you'll do or you'll be able to reap the reward much better later on.
And it's interesting you say that because, me being in sales for so long, Um, there's no greater feeling, right, than immediate gratification, especially in sales when you land a big deal and it comes through, right? But just
Yeah.
having that patience and knowing that the work that you're putting in every single day is leading to something bigger where you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. It's 100% true, man. Delay the gratification for something bigger. I love that.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm practicing it now. It's not something I was great at early on. So, but yeah, I'd love to flip the script, man. What about you? Favorite book related to personal development or business? What do you got?
Man, I've actually got two, right?
Okay.
So the first one is Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. I'm sure if you're listening, you've probably read it or you've heard about David Goggins. The guy's an absolute beast, was 250, 300 pounds, whatever it might be, when he was in his young 20s and then ended up, failing, what is it, SEAL school, like 4 or 5 times before eventually like
Yeah.
becoming a Navy SEAL, and just did the most badass challenges like running a 24-hour ultra marathon where he was getting shin splints and toes were broken, and ran, in 115-degree heat in the middle of the desert. The guy's an absolute savage. He's an absolute animal. Um, I'm not there yet, but I aspire to, at least climb a couple rungs on that ladder. Um, so that's the first one. The second one
Okay.
is Relentless by Tim Grover. Those of you who aren't familiar, Tim Grover was initially Michael Jordan's basketball coach, and then he obviously helped many other different athletes. But my favorite, which you'll see in the back here, Mr. Kobe Bryant. Um, and basically, the thing that I loved so much about uh, what he had to say was, it's not how hard you fall, it's how great you get back up. And Kobe Bryant, probably arguably top three greatest basketball players of all time. I think he's the best. But when he had his Achilles injury, it took him out, and it was the first major injury that he's had in his entire career where he missed, a lot of time playing basketball. And the whole uh, mental aptitude and process to be able to overcome such a challenging, event like that on a torn Achilles, and to come back and play basketball at a very high level, I think takes a certain kind of individual, but also it's the trainer behind that individual that helps guide them and mentor them and coach them to, becoming the best version of themselves. So I know it was long-winded, but Can't Hurt Me and Relentless are definitely my two favorite books.
Okay. Yeah, very cool. I love both of those as well. I think I read Relentless for the first time last year. Yeah, it's an incredible, incredible book. So, what about the best piece of advice you've ever received, Blake?
Again, I just think it comes down to, having a sales background, and again, having or wanting that immediate gratification is something that, we in sales want so much, but I think it's progress over perfection. Taking incremental steps each and every day in your personal and in your business life to become the best version of yourself, rather than just trying to be that perfect person, because that doesn't exist, right? You'll never reach perfection because you're always going to, well, if you're a good human being, right, you'll strive to become, the best version of yourself, but you'll always be chasing that perfect you. So um, best piece of advice, yeah, definitely progress over perfection.
Okay. Yeah, very nice. What about a daily habit that contributes to your success?
Working out and not drinking. I too, in my family growing up, I had alcoholism run in my family, as well as, addiction to prescription drugs, and so I saw that at a very young age, and decided that that's not what I want for my life, and that's not, the route that I want to go down. So I think, at a very young age, I've decided to stay away from drugs and alcohol, and uh, really be not an advocate against it, but just, not advocate for it, not want to be, in the presence of, a bunch of alcohol and drugs.
Yeah.
Um, and the other thing too is working out, right? If you find a daily routine and ritual to where, you want to work out and become the best version of yourself. Like, I love to surf, I love to be outdoors and hike and do all these things. So if I can either be at the gym or, go surf or train jujitsu, which I love to do, those are the things that keep me active, keep me motivated every single day.
Yeah, very cool. And then, yeah, bonus, same question. Something that you wish you knew when starting your journey.
Yeah, well, one of the biggest things I think going around now is you are who you surround yourself with. And um, for me, it was always like, I was part of a friend group, and as you grow and you get older, right, friends change, dynamics change, and you make new friends and all that. And one of the things that resonated with me, I think I heard from another podcast, or uh, maybe it was Tony Robbins. I don't really remember, but it was, um, be the dumbest person in the room and surround yourself with successful individuals and learn from them. Right. So don't try to go into the room and be the smartest person, because then that says a lot about, who you are. Be okay with being dumb and learning from others and constantly improving your skills and attributes.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's fantastic. Well, anyway, before we wrap things up, guys, just wanted to give you a little bit more insight of what to expect in Life by the Horns. So we will not be just doing a bunch of podcasts of me and Blake just talking back and forth about our experiences. We will be having a featured guest on our podcast who are ultra successful in so many ways. It may be in all things business. It could be, as a parent or a spouse. It could be a combination of all the things. But we're going to try to at least have at least one per month as a featured guest. We're also super pumped about doing Q&A episodes. So instead of us just coming on here and assuming that we have a great topic to share with you guys and talk about, we would love for you to submit questions inside of our YouTube channel. So if you see these videos and you've got a question, put it in the comments. In addition to that, if you'd rather just email them in, email them to connect@lifebythehorns.com, and we'll grab questions from there too. And we'll probably answer 3 to 4 per Q&A episode. And then last but not least, we'll definitely have a handful of episodes where it's just myself or just Blake or both of us, where we're having topical discussions on everything that it is life. So again, back to business, which will be all things marketing and sales, administrative stuff, operations, how to build a great culture, understanding financials, KPIs and those kinds of things. And then to include parenting, what it is to be a great partner or significant other, talks about mindset, money, fitness, spirituality, the whole 9 yards.
The whole shebang. I love
All
it.
of it. Absolutely. Well, guys, thanks so much for giving us a little bit of grace on this first podcast. We encourage you to like this, subscribe, share it with your friends. We'd love for you guys to leave a review as well. And if you gain anything whatsoever from this, again, share it with somebody because we're not like paying to get this thing out there or anything. All of our growth is going to be 100% organic. So yeah, thanks so much for your time, guys. Have a great day.
Thank you.